Welcome to JourneyNOW, a podcast about following Jesus that takes on serious issues without ever taking itself too seriously. Each week, the pastors, staff, and friends of Journey Church in Brentwood, Tennessee, gather to catch up, share life together, and laugh a little. Okay, a lot. Maybe too much. But along the way, they also explore what it really means to bring heaven to earth, share Jesus' hospitality, and live cross-shaped lives. Part babble, part Bible, and occasionally even thoughtful and entertaining, this is JourneyNOW.
All right, Edwin, punch it.
Oh, I think he's punched it.
We have a special guest with us today.
We do. And let's be honest. The how many years have we been doing this?
5.
Yes, we have.
Wow.
Grant and I have never been seen in the same room, and there was some.
Shut up.
There's been some suspicion
that you were Grant.
Well, it's an anagram of Mike, and that we might be the same person. And today we said enough. We're going to determine. We're going to show once and for all the conspiracy theories are false.
Yeah.
Okay.
Wow.
So, ladies and gentlemen, Mike and Grant in the same room podcasting.
Wow.
Are we doing conspiracy theories today?
Well,
sign me up.
Okay. I think we should start with what's a conspiracy theory you believe to be true. All right. That's where we'll start today.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. So, but before we get there, a little bit about Grant. Because one of the conspiracy theories I believe to be true is that Grant
you're stealing
works
mine.
for the CIA.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And here are bits of anecdotal evidence.
Yeah, please.
For such a thing.
He speaks Russian.
He speaks Russian.
Da, конечно.
Yep. Number 2, he owns a vineyard in South America.
Air quotes.
Okay.
Air quotes are happening.
Yep.
Air quotes.
And then I don't know if he still does, but when I first met him, his plane was in the shop.
Yeah.
Air quotes. So his plane was in the shop, and he has to fly to South America for a vineyard.
I think he actually sold the plane, right?
I did sell the plane.
Yeah, but for what?
To who?
And to whom? Exactly.
And was it used?
Were you paid in cocaine that you then changed for arms? Because you were going after arms smugglers.
He was deep.
Deep cover. And then when you meet him, you'll say, Grant, are you in the CIA? And he'll say, no, I'm not, which is exactly what someone in the CIA would say.
Exactly.
And he's very mild and unassuming until you say certain words in a certain order.
Yeah.
And then there's
on
someone
a podcast.
On a podcast. I'm not going to say them. But they're in Russian.
Yeah.
And Winter Soldier is included in those. And so all that is to say.
Podcasts that don't get released.
Yes. Well, that's true. So Grant, conveniently, this is what I'm trying to say. He's the one that oversees the podcast. Mm-hmm. So the ratio of what we say versus what gets released, probably 80%. And I think the 20% that doesn't get released is usually about him.
Yeah. Or if you put it backwards, put our thing backwards, I'm sure it's got some kind of decoder.
Yeah. He's
also,
this is how, because we have a number of listeners in South America.
Yes.
You know?
Strong.
And the Ukraine.
Yes, and Ukraine. And so, yes, I do think.
Hasn't it?
It has.
Yeah. Part Bible, part babble, code word.
Right.
Yep. Go
Also,
ahead.
he knows a lot about a lot of things.
Yeah.
It's weird. He doesn't have to look up his phone. His phone looks up him.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
And he has a room in his house that's fully dedicated to jump ropes.
Right. Now, there are lots of things you can do with jump ropes in terrorist situations.
Is it a safe room?
We call them
Is it actually a
nunchucks.
safe room?
Is it a panic room? Nunchuck? That's funny. Is it a safe room? Yeah. What do you
Is
have
it called
down
a safe room or a panic room?
What?
That's very interesting.
So when we bought the house, this room, they made a family room or like a theater room, and then behind it, they had put this long, narrow room.
Yep. And
that
he looked
I'm looking
Judy,
at it.
if that's her real name, and said,
it's like this has got to be either a bowling alley or a shooting range. So it's like there's the only two things that fit into this space.
Or
a jump rope room.
Yes.
Yeah. So we went with option 3.
So I'm just saying, there are people. We've got evidence of people who've walked into Grant's house and have never been seen again.
Yeah.
And we haven't ever been invited to that back room. Okay. Unless under threat. We were there one time, and Grant said, "You're not leaving until we make a decision about this." Yeah. And he showed us the back room.
This is what could happen.
Yeah, exactly.
And Judy, his wife,
I think she's the far more deadly.
She could be like...
That's true.
I mean, she's like fit. She's like...
Oh, yeah.
Short. She could take anybody out.
Yeah.
You don't want to mess with Judy.
No. I won't. I try to give her a hug, and I'm cautious.
No.
I cautiously hug.
Never touch Judy. That's
never touch Judy.
Nope, that's true. It's absolutely true. Grant said that when we first met. She's like, never touch her. Yeah. And I was like, okay. Yes. I didn't know what that meant until I heard stories.
Yeah.
So this is Grant, and Grant used to be a writer for the Mets, the Cubs, the Giants.
The Giants.
And but there's no proof of that. And so, or it's a cover. All I'm saying is there is, so we'll go on to further conspiracy theories. I think one conspiracy theory that I believe is that our phones listen to us, and that social media, then the algorithm gets geared to, oh, I just looked up Spanx today, and then all of a sudden for my wife, and then all of a sudden it's just commercials for Spanx everywhere. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I don't think that's a conspiracy theory.
You've used that a few times, and I think...
Is that true?
Yeah, I'm just
the
saying.
Spanx thing?
You've used that a few times. The Spanx theory.
The theory?
Yeah.
I call it the Spanx theory. Yeah, absolutely. Okay, so you're saying it's not a conspiracy theory, that's just true.
I'm getting ads for Spanx right now on my phone.
Yeah. That's it.
Yeah.
Okay. What about you, Grant? What conspiracy theory do you think is real?
So I've got like 2 stages to this.
Of course you do. Stability.
Yes.
And what was the other one?
Yep.
No.
Yeah.
So I always thought stupid birds aren't real. Right?
What?
People say birds aren't real.
Yeah.
Oh,
right. That's a whole
yeah.
thing. People have T-shirts.
Really?
Yep. Yeah.
There's a conspiracy theory. Yes.
That birds
that they
are not
have
real.
for spying.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I never thought that was anything. But do you see dead birds? I mean, like, there's a million birds in the sky. When was the last time you saw one just like
I saw
dead?
one.
Have you read
in my bush?
Have you read Matthew?
Yeah. So
Birds of the Air.
no dead birds.
Wow.
And then just this year, I started seeing dead birds everywhere. They're planting them.
Yes. Yep. I saw one this year too.
Yeah. Did you see one when you were a kid?
A dead bird?
Yeah.
No.
See?
No.
I rest my case.
No, not at all.
Strong.
Yeah. Okay. I'm convinced. Birds aren't real, even
Yeah.
though Jesus said, I know when one falls.
Yep. Well, you didn't see him fall.
Yep. Exactly. Okay. Great.
How do you know?
Grant, that
Maybe
is
he
excellent.
let him fall.
Yeah. Yeah. Or he's taking care of him.
And by the way, in Grant's spare time, he's a falconer.
Yeah.
And so just, it adds up.
It does.
Suzie P. Lind,
I got nothing.
you believe no conspiracy theories are real.
I don't know. I don't think so.
We're just truth tellers over here.
No.
We're truth purveyors of truth.
Yeah.
Do you
Embodiers
believe-
of
I'll
truth.
tell you, I'll tell you a conspiracy theory that Suzie Lind believes, that supplements work.
I was going to do the same thing. Yes. Same thing.
Mommy juice. Mommy juice.
Yes,
Second-
yes,
second
that,
behind you.
yes. There we go.
Okay.
Good.
You got me.
Okay, that's fair. That's fair. All right, Tim Timmons.
Wait. No, let's talk about that for a second.
Oh, okay, that's fair.
Yeah.
Is it that all supplements work?
I don't think all supplements work.
Okay.
I don't
how
think
do you-
all supplements work for all people.
Do all supplements work for some people?
Probably not.
Great question.
Valid. Dang
Wow.
Do some supplements work for all people?
Yeah.
Okay.
Vitamin C, bro.
Okay.
Okay.
it. Get with it.
So when you
It's all about big
when you
Vita.
go to the store and you see, like, oil of echinacea or whatever,
Yeah. Yeah. She bathes in it.
how does the discerning mind of Suzie Lind decide
Ooh, it's science.
this is something I'm going in on and I'm going to choose to believe?
How nice the bottle is.
You don't really want me to go into all of that.
I do. Yes.
the fact that there's an answer.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah, it's premeditated.
Is it?
Yeah.
I saw this thing on TikTok that said it was good. Is that part of the selection process?
No.
Okay. Scientific research, is that part of the
Some. Yes.
Okay. All right. I want to see the evidence for flower of echinacea.
Okay.
Okay.
I can find that for you.
So what else? What are other parts of the selection process?
Well, I do look at PubMed, which is a catalog of medical publications.
Is that what they call it?
PubMed.
Yep, PubMed.
Obvious.
Okay.
And I
We've all been
also have, I'll look at your standard John Hopkins website or, university research.
I call him Juan Hopkins, but yes.
There's a couple people that I follow that have websites that are that claim to be unbiased science.
Sponsored by.
So I just kind of gather a lot of information, and then I decide. And then I also look to see if the product has been tested by a third-party tester.
Nice.
Yeah. I know that's so disappointing.
No,
and so nerdy.
No, I mean, I'm glad there's some thought, but it's still all wrong. Okay. Tims, what do you got? Young and Restless, Days of Our Lives, All My Children.
I think that cats aren't real.
Have you ever seen a dead cat?
That's what I'm trying to say.
I think that's a great point.
I've never seen. I think cats are. It was not a serpent. I actually think the conspiracy theory is they've said that cats. It was a cat, not a snake. In Genesis.
Yeah. So they're not real, but if they were, they would be evil. Yes. Okay, that's fantastic.
Yeah.
All right.
It's just not
they're
really
spiritual demons.
Yes. There it is. There it is. Yes. That's not their true form.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. That's all I could come with. I couldn't come up with any of those.
Who hurt you?
Cats. Tinkerbell. Hurt me.
Oh, do you have a cat?
I did.
Okay.
As a kid.
Oh, you did?
Yeah. I don't want to go into it.
What was the cat's name?
Tinkerbell.
You just took it to Grant.
Yes. Grant, can you get rid of this?
It's in South America now.
Yes. It's on the vineyard.
Yeah.
Yes.
That's what we say.
The vineyard.
Yeah. No, I think the conspiracy theory. No, I don't even know what the conspiracy theory would be. I just don't like cats.
Yeah. I mean, that's
I don't
fair.
like cats either.
No.
Yeah, and I know why, but they're not right.
Okay. That's fair. I'm team no pet, to be honest. I'm team unpet. So
my dog really likes your daughter.
Well, do we need to discuss that in depth?
Why would you drop that here?
Because I'm just saying your daughter and my dog get along really well. Like, she comes over and...
Yeah, why does she come over, Suzie?
Because she likes me.
That's one reason.
One reason, yeah.
Supplements.
Yeah. Supplements, free supplements.
No.
For sure.
But when she comes over and she's like, if she's sad or upset about something...
Oh, sweet Mavi.
Mavi goes and sits on her lap.
Oh, I've tried that too, but she doesn't seem to receive that as well.
Yeah.
It's very sweet.
That's very sweet.
Do you have an extra one other than Grant?
Conspiracy theories?
Yeah.
Oh, mine was the phones.
Yeah.
Like Alexa or whatever. I just think that stuff all gets tracked. And
there's a lot of conspiracy theories out there.
There are. There really are. But you know what's not a conspiracy theory? That Jesus has risen from the dead.
The chosen.
As I was watching last night on the episode.
Yeah.
So Tim
Did you really watch it last night?
No, I've never watched an episode of it.
I mean, you should. It's good.
But Tim,
I've seen a few.
But Tim's line always is, we're answering some dumb question about something. It's like, well, when I was watching The Chosen last night, so that was it.
You guys, the bit just keeps going.
It keeps going.
It's gonna happen a lot in this next season. I'm feeling good about it.
Oh,
I'm gonna keep beating that thing.
How many seasons have there been?
I don't know that. I've watched a part of season 1.
Well, 3, right? It's Trinitarian. So there's 3 seasons.
I think there's
one show.
But this is the last one, I think, right?
And it's about...
Spoiler alert. Jesus.
we know the ending.
Yeah. Jesus dies.
Well, and that's what it's like. How can you keep doing seasons?
Yeah.
Right.
It seems like the story resolves.
Well, there's
Jesus too.
I mean, Mel Gibson's coming out with a new one, so
Jesus too, Son of God.
I will say that the episodes that I have watched, I really enjoyed.
I did too.
Were really helpful for me to see humanity.
Awesome.
Yeah.
I just was making fun.
Yes. No, it's my bit, and I will continue that bit
of that show
many times on this show.
Yes. Thank you.
Yep.
Now, speaking of the show, we pulled off a Sunday service.
Wow.
That was magnificent.
Wow.
Grant gave it an 8.9 out of 10, which is one of the higher scores that we've had.
And what do you base that on?
Did you, Grant?
He did. He told me. He told me.
Telepathically, I guess.
Yeah.
It just appeared in your mind.
Well, just now, absolutely.
Yeah.
But Grant, would you say that you and Judy are among the more harsher critics of the church gatherings?
Why would you possibly think that? Have I ever criticized one of your gatherings?
in your brain you have. In your face talks.
My face.
Your face talks. About
your face talks.
What we're talking about when we talk about the gathering.
Yeah. The gathering?
What is there to talk
when we
about?
say like it was an 8.6, what are the elements?
Yeah, Grant, what would you say? Because your face was saying this one was
an 8.9.
Was it?
Yeah. It was an 8.9.
So I actually
First of all, you stayed
actually had questions, and it was the 1 week you were like, I'm not doing questions.
Would you have asked a question?
I'm over. I might have. I thought about it. I considered it.
I would love it if you asked a question.
No, here's why he didn't. Okay, he doesn't want to draw attention to himself. CIA trick, obviously. And then secondly,
this podcast is never coming out.
This one?
I'm just saying he's
been exposed.
His face will not be in this one.
Yeah.
That would be great. Yeah. We should actually blur his face.
We'll just have Kevin Dixon on his body.
A sticker over his face.
That's right.
Kevin.
That's our mystery guest.
Edwin, make that so. His voice actually isn't even really his voice. Continue.
What?
Because what they're hearing is a different version of his voice right now.
Scrambled voice.
His voice is in Hillary's
for the
voice.
witness protection.
I was like,
sorry.
Yeah. Anyway.
The witness protection voice.
Anyway, so Grant, what was your face reacting to on Sunday?
I didn't think my face was reacting. I'm stoic in your services.
Yes.
I mean, once in a while you'll tell a joke that's good enough.
Oh, that's it.
And I'll give you a slight smile.
A smirk.
Little polite chuckle.
Yeah, a polite chuckle.
Yeah,
for sure.
But normally I'm stone-faced.
Yeah.
I'm unreadable.
You are. Which is readable then. Okay? Because I've seen your happy face. Look to the camera and it looks like this. Okay? And I've seen your sad face. It looks like that. And it's a subtle distinction. You just gotta
not
it's
much.
Maybe 2 millimeters.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So I just saw lack of smirk, no good jokes, and then just stoic. Yeah. You got up, you took communion, and you seemed angry.
Yeah.
And
looked at you the whole time.
Yeah.
I'm angry about the bread at communion. We had a discussion about that.
Oh,
different bread this week.
Yeah.
What was the bread?
The bread we have now is awful.
Oh.
Yeah.
It's because they discontinued the one that we used to buy, and it's all gluten-free.
Like out of nowhere.
Mm-hmm.
There it is.
Last Sunday night.
This is what I'm talking about.
Layla walks up to me.
Oh man.
And no, hi Grant, how are you?
No.
Good to see you. She's like, what do you think of the communion bread?
Yeah. Yep.
I think it pulled a few people out of the presence of God.
And it's like,
yeah.
I mean, we're not supposed to criticize, right?
Well, let me tell you,
the body of Christ given for you.
I took a bite of that
Christ
bread.
hasn't been working out much lately.
Wow.
He needs to jump rope a little more. Is what
yeah.
That's what it is.
See, I'm so glad we got
to this. The options for gluten-free bread are in like
bulk
are not.
Yeah, formed well.
Yeah, favorable.
Formed well.
Sorry, that's a Suzie
and we like to
reference.
have gluten-free bread because there's a lot of people who.
How many loaves do you go through?
Well, we start with one and then
I think we go through 2.
Chosen episode.
1 to 2 a week.
Season
1 to 2.
Episode 5.
We can do better.
Yeah.
That's all I'm saying.
Yeah.
We can do better.
Yeah. So Grant, next week we'll have a bakery.
Totally.
In Thailand.
Yes, actually.
Yeah. Oh, and my plane. I got my plane back.
Yeah.
So we'll see. Anyway, thank you for that feedback. I don't know.
It's been great to have you.
Yeah.
Today, Grant.
Yeah. Thank you for tuning
my
in to
last
another
appearance
JourneyNOW
on JourneyNOW.
All right. So let's talk.
Yeah.
Let's talk. Enough shenanigans, Grant. I'm sick of you not being focused.
Yeah.
All right. We're going to talk about sin. This whole 2-week conversation was really designed, and it didn't come out last week because it wasn't fitting in light of what happened during the week and all of the shootings and everything, and we just made the decision.
Well, let's clarify. It was because we had a conversation about guns that had nothing to do with that type of scenario, but we just wanted to be sensitive.
Yes.
Because I don't want people to make up.
That's why the episode did not come out. That's
what we.
Can I go back one step further? Because it wasn't actually. I can talk about guns all day long. I've got no problem with talking about guns, but not this. Well, that goes without saying.
I mean, jump rope does wonders for the arm.
It helps.
Focus, people.
Sorry.
Okay. So,
Seth, this is why you didn't get a podcast last week.
This whole 2-week cycle that we've been in has been a cycle about not just judging people, not just applying a sin category to someone, but having relationship with them, right? And what happened on the last podcast is we shared this anecdote about meeting a guy who had, and it's like just the worst cosmic timing ever. He had a t-shirt that said "shoot first" on it. And so what do you do with that? Do you engage with the guy? Do you ignore it? Do you do whatever? And the discussion last week was about, I started asking questions, which is good. But what I heard you say when you did your gathering before that was that you have to look past someone's identities, their outward appearance, their whatever, and you have to actually invest in knowing the person. So it's not even about asking questions first. It's about maybe forming a relationship, and once you have earned the right to have conversational intimacy with somebody, now you can begin to explore views, and even then, not with an agenda, right? It's just about knowing each other.
First of all, Grant, never quote my sermons back at me.
I paraphrased.
Secondly, yeah, that was a really bad paraphrase. It was much better than that. And then thirdly,
we have the tape.
That's a great point.
Yeah.
So yes, it was the T-shirt, and then, but go ahead.
So that was the first thing. Is like we say we can't. We have to embrace and welcome and just form relationship with people based on their gender identity, or based on their experiences, or based on their ethnic identity. Why do we stop then when we see somebody who has a shirt with a message that now all of a sudden we have to ask questions or confront? And so that's where that whole thing came from.
Nice. So contrary to popular opinion, dear listener, there is some adult in the room who actually pays attention to the things that we say. And so thank you, Grant. And I'm glad it wasn't me. So that's all I'm going to say. Let's go. I want to talk about part 2 of that conversation, which is what we had last Sunday, which is how Jesus sort of models this. Because we all agree, we all come from a background and heritage that says, listen, sin is the reason that Jesus came into the world, to deal with sin. It cost him his life, his sacrifice. Like, that's how serious this is. And much of Christian discipleship is about like learning to be righteous instead of disobedient. And that cashes out lots of times in, hey, here's how we should treat people who we see as sinners.
Well, and like I would say the majority of questions that we did get was along the lines of, when is it okay for me to say something?
Right, which is so interesting. We run
to what we just went through. Yeah,
right. We run to the when is it okay?
At which point can I say something?
Yes. And I think we'd all agree there are times to say something.
For sure.
But it's funny. I mean, if we did a whole conversation on Paul's advice to restore sinners, it's things like restore them gently, lest you fall prey to the same temptation. You know what I mean? It's like it's this. Tim jokingly calls it a carefrontation, but it's literally the outworking of someone who's committed to. Somebody, even Jesus's instruction in Matthew 18, right? You don't ever publicly shame anybody. You go to them privately. You take another eyewitness with you the second time, and then it gets exposed to the small community back in the first century. And so,
it's not standing up in front of the whole congregation and saying, this is what this person did.
Totally. It's just insane.
You are not to associate with them.
Totally. And there are, I mean, Paul does that in the church in Corinth. And so, yes, of course, there are sins and times that are so egregious and affecting the community, they have to be dealt with publicly. Absolutely. Not denying that at all. But what we are saying is that isn't the default method. And I think that's where American culture and some forms of Christianity have taken us. That the job of the church is just to sit in judgment of the world, which is the absolute reverse of Paul's instructions to, who am I to judge the world? I judge the church. And so when you look at the example of Jesus and you just categorize, I mean, anyone can do this. Pick up the book of Matthew and just go, okay, when Jesus comes into contact with really sinful people, what does he do? How does he call them to repentance? Because his goal and the Pharisees' goal were the same. Mm-hmm. They wanted to renew Israel, and hallelujah, Israel needed renewed just like we do. Mm-hmm. And so how Jesus did that was whenever he came across somebody who was very sinful, he didn't regard, to Grant's point, he didn't regard their social status markers, their identity markers as anything. Instead, he totally centered this renewed Israel around himself. So all that mattered was how you were responding to Jesus. It didn't matter how you were responding to Sabbath, how you were responding to Jewish festivals, the temple, the sacrifices. And that's what made Jesus so offensive, is the audacity to put himself in the place of Torah, temple, priest, and sacrifice. Mm-hmm. That was what was so offensive about Jesus. Mm-hmm. And so we talk and have in the past about being center focused. Well, this is what Jesus was doing. He just simply said, your reaction to me is all that matters in terms of being part of the covenant people. And there are covenant actions that take place after that, baptism. Mm-hmm. And then obviously after he leaves, the Lord's Supper, but those come after the initial declaration of faith, and all previous social and religious designations are rendered null and void. And that was what was so scandalous. And then the way Jesus enacted that was through table fellowship, which we obviously make a huge deal about around here. And the big point we wanted to make is that Jesus was accused of condoning sin because he would associate with people, and associate doesn't mean hang out with. Table fellowship was intimate relationship. It was shared status. It was kinship. He would do that with people who had not previously repented. And so he led with that same kind of covenant love of committed to somebody, being present with somebody, advocating for somebody, and then towarding people towards repentance. But it was his kindness that did it. That's the big point of the last couple of weeks.
But Jesus had an unfair advantage.
He's Jesus.
He's Jesus. He has omniscience.
Yeah.
So, when I look at the examples you gave on Sunday, right? You talked about the woman at his feet with the alabaster jar.
Yep.
You talked about Zacchaeus climbing the tree.
Yeah.
There's two things that I come away not knowing how in my own life to deal with people is, number one, he knew their heart. I don't know of too many stories in the New Testament where Jesus meets an outsider or an oppressed person who's just not interested, and he engages with them and it doesn't work. And they're like, okay, I'm going to go somewhere else. I'll try again.
Yeah.
Everybody's that he talks to that we see is primed for the interaction.
Well,
right?
No.
Zacchaeus is climbing the tree before he ever meets Jesus. He already has some curiosity in his heart, some
the
kernel
woman
of
caught in adultery wasn't.
And I think there's a significant point missed in that. I think that's a really valid point. There was loads of curiosity around Jesus just because of his miracles.
Yeah.
So I don't know that it makes Zacchaeus primed. The thing that was staggering wasn't Zacchaeus's predisposition to it. It was Jesus announcing before everybody, I have to eat with you. Now, if you're saying, well, Jesus did that because he knew Zacchaeus would respond.
Yeah.
See, I don't know that I buy all of that, because we have examples like in Luke 9 of Jesus coming across people saying, follow me, and they saying no, or giving reasons why they wouldn't follow, and Jesus lets them walk away. He comes across the rich young ruler who...
But that's different because that's an insider, right?
But see, who are the insiders and who are the outsiders?
And that's that's the other problem that I have is this isn't just a collection of stories. There's this larger narrative arc that we're trying to describe the kingdom of God and say the kingdom of God is this place where all of the people who think that they're the pious and the religious maybe are not so much.
Yeah.
And all of the people who are oppressed are more inside or have more access than they might think.
Right.
So when I have that overlay and I start to look at those stories, okay, so how much of this is something that is just serving the overall narrative purpose versus an individual interaction that I should then go and apply to my life?
Great question. So Luke's So I would say Matthew is the least relevant in that regard. Matthew's agenda totally is to show Jesus is the new Moses, which is not a category for us.
The Jewishness of Jesus.
Yes, exactly. Luke Acts is where you find all of this. The outsider, you see it towards women, you see it towards the poor. Jesus speaks most about possessions and money in Luke.
The forming of the community happens in Luke 1.
Yeah.
It begins in Luke 1.
Exactly. And even his inaugural sermon in Luke 4 is it's good news to the poor.
Yeah.
So yes, the gospel writers are showing that those who should know better are missing it, and those who are on the outside are being welcomed in and pursued by Jesus. So what can I take from that? Well, my harshest words then should be for the religious leaders, and my kindest words should be for those who are on the margins.
It should also put us in a position of humility and understanding that, like, we are never going to know everything that we think we know in terms of like how God feels about people, certain people, and like what his disposition is that we assume because of how we've been formed, right?
I think so.
Like it's the who's in, who's out. Like it's what you say when we go to the table. Like, who am I to say who's invited to the table?
Because I see what you're saying.
We are only gift recipients. This is not my table. This is Jesus's table. So when I think someone isn't invited, then I need to take a step back and recognize, oh, gee, I'm invited. Like, you know?
Yeah, I think this has nothing to do with how people respond. It has everything to do with how I approach. And so my approach is exactly what you were saying, prior to this about the t-shirt. My approach is always to lead with commitment, advocacy, whatever, regardless of how they respond. Yeah. And I do think you get examples of that throughout the New Testament, all over the place. There are times, based on their response then, that you handle it differently, right? Jesus did rebuke at times the proud. I don't trust myself to rebuke the proud. That's where Jesus does have an unfair advantage, because I trust his character far more than I trust mine, right? Not his knowledge there, but I trust his character.
So you would not rebuke someone who's in the community who is displaying prideful behavior?
I would not rebuke them in the sense of like, we got to turn over tables and grab a whip and drive them out and be really rhetorically forceful and aggressive. I think that's worthless. I think the way you would rebuke is the way that Paul mentions in Galatians, right? Where it's gently, it's invitational, it's acknowledging yourself as a fellow struggler. So yeah, if that's what we mean by rebuke, I'm all for it. If rebuke just means, hey dude, you're in freaking sin and I have nothing to do with you, I'm not so sure.
And that I think is a really helpful distinction, just in the context of like, do you take sin personally? I mean, seriously, because the question that follows is always, well, Jesus rebuked. And so then it goes into like, well, how?
Sure.
How? Because when I hear the word rebuke, I feel like a public correction. That's what I think of when I think of rebuke. But that's not what we see Jesus doing.
Right.
And if he is doing it publicly, it's towards an entire community. It's not towards one person and their bad decisions.
Right. And that's really interesting, because Jesus, and this is where our Old Testament illiteracy really hurts us. So Jesus going after the Pharisees. If you track what Jesus says to the Pharisees, these are all themes from like Ezekiel of God rebuking the religious leadership in the Old Testament. So the Pharisees would understand that Jesus is claiming for himself the prophetic authority of Yahweh and his rebuke of them. So
just looking up the woe to you shepherds of Israel passage in Ezekiel says it all.
Exactly. So even the religious leaders, as Jesus feels like to us, like you're just sitting at dinner and all of a sudden he's yelling at his hosts. This is like, there's a whole context sitting behind this that doesn't give us sort of the same warrant to respond in those sorts of ways. So my rule of thumb is this. If I have to violate the Sermon on the Mount to carry the mission of Jesus forward in the world, then it's no longer the mission of Jesus I'm serving. And so the Sermon on the Mount is all about krenoing, which is distinguishing, but not judging and condemning. It's about seeing my sin as the bigger problem than your sin. It's about loving and blessing. It's about dealing with my anger and contempt. It's about all of those sorts of things. I'm the object of the Sermon on the Mount, and my community is the object of the Sermon on the Mount. And so when there are violations of that, do we address them? Absolutely. But how? In the way the Sermon on the Mount invites us to address it. So the point with Jesus is, yes, Jesus was modeling that sort of covenant love that we see in the Old Testament from God, the commitment, the advocacy, the presence, the so on. And he was doing it in a way that disregarded all social status. And that's the invitation for us, I think, is that's where I find traction, is that if I just sit and I see a MAGA hat, or I see a Joe Biden, pro-Joe Biden sticker or whatever, if I have initial reactions that cause me to place in categories where I would either approach differently or not approach at all, that's my work of going beyond just the way people have self-identified in the world to what's gospel conversation look like. And the modern parallel for me is the black gentleman, I forget his name, who has met with over 200 Ku Klux Klan members. And over table fellowship, he has in his home hanging 200 different hoods from people who have renounced their affiliation with the Klan because of his presence with them. And that's what Jesus is showing us how to do. Now, the nuances, I mean, of course, we're going to mess it up. People could take advantage. Maybe somebody thinks we're condoning sin. There is nothing in the New Testament that says, well, then stop doing that. It's just, this is how you approach people. There are occasions where you step out of that mode of operation, for sure. But the examples we have are so few and far between, we don't have a lot of warrant for just the normal sorts of judgments that we are, inclined to offer each other in consistent bases. Does that make sense? So I think that's what we were trying to push to, and because the other view is, and this view is really predominant, to take sin seriously means that I have to let you know
what I'm against.
And that we need to have statements on things and cultural issues so that before you even come in, that we're opposed to this thing. And that is, for a lot of folks, a very legitimate way of announcing that sin is taken seriously. Because we preach against it, and we have statements against it,
But it's just not an effective way of changing anyone's mind or seeing image bearerness.
Churches.
No, I mean, when you said that on Sunday, I was thinking about
was this a smirk or was this still stoic?
I think it was stoic. Yeah. There was nothing.
There's 1
nothing
centimeter.
Behind it. Maybe a half. But there's a polling technique that they do apparently now, where they go to someone's house and instead of saying, are you for gun control or against gun control, the poller goes to the house and asks them questions first. Hey, I'm conducting some research. Did you serve in the military? Have you ever been the victim of a violent crime? And what they do is they establish some context and some level of relational closeness.
Yes.
And then after a 10-minute conversation, they say, oh, hey, are you for gun control or against it? And they get totally different answers. And when I heard that, to me, first of all, to your point, we should be going into it with no agenda. I'm not going into it with the goal of I've got to change this person's mind.
Totally.
I'm going into it to know them and to understand them.
Yep.
Right? But in order to even be able to earn the ability to have a discussion with someone about their views, first I have to know them.
Totally.
Because if I don't know their experiences, if I don't know their background, if I don't know their family history, if I don't know any of that stuff, there's literally no way that I can engage with them without
they're just a t-shirt
somehow impose. Yeah, they're a t-shirt. That's exactly right.
Yeah. And that's yep.
That's the problem with 2025 is everything is a t-shirt.
Yes. Or a tweet or a Instagram post or whatever.
Yeah.
Well, you take the conversation around Charlie Kirk that is exploding all over social media. You have databases now of people who've said mean things or seemingly celebrated his death, which we would all agree is horrific. I mean, the no duh statement of the morning is that's so awful. And then you have other people putting up quotes from him. And then other people responding saying, well, those quotes are taken out of context, and here's the context. And it's just a bunch of shouting and monitoring.
It's a bunch of identifying. It's, do you root for the Browns or do you root for the Cowboys, right?
Well, I mean, if you're going to go there, Grant, if you're going to press into that, Browns are Satan's team.
There you go.
God hates them.
Yeah, but it's just another way that we can signal.
Exactly.
What team we're on.
What, football, yeah.
Yeah, sports. So I do think the kind of person or the kind of community that is willing to sit in the tension that posture creates is a community that has to do a lot of work, not only individually, but as a community, to sit in a room with people that you know are feeling very, very differently than you, who would see things very differently than you would see them, who would talk about things differently. I mean, that's a lot of work. And to just sort of drop a statement or a sermon bomb into that, I think that's the easiest way out. I just think that's the sort of cheapest way to deal with sin in your community, right? To really deal with it the way that Jesus and Paul sort of model and instruct is this long slog of listening and relating and context and apology and reconciling. Whew, just much easier to not do that.
And when do you ever get to walk away?
Right.
Maybe never.
Maybe never. I'm not going to walk away from you, Grant.
I think we need to walk away from this podcast because we have staff meetings starting soon.
Oh, well, I guess that just put the kibosh on great Grant Mike conversation. All right, well.
Yeah, forget my questions then.
Yeah.
Thanks for joining us.
I'm out.
On the JourneyNOW podcast.
Love you, Seth.
Can we get Hillary back?
Love you, Brad.
Yeah, seriously. Suzie, were you ever in the military? Were you ever hurt by somebody?
Who hurt you, Suzie?
Thanks for listening to this episode of JourneyNOW. If for some bizarre reason you liked it, help us spread the word by leaving a review and sharing it on your socials. JourneyNOW is a production of Journey Church in Brentwood, Tennessee. Edwin Rivera III produces the show and fixes all the guest slurping, gum chewing, coughing, and other annoying sounds. Randy Hansen provides technical assistance even though he denies it. Grant Opperman edits JourneyNOW and intervenes when necessary to tell the crew that you can't say that. Special shout out to dear listener Brad Erre and dear YouTube watcher Seth Erre. If there's anyone else who makes it through each week, we're so sorry, and thanks to you too.